Welcome back. It's a big fluffy dog. Does not look like it, man. I don't think we're supposed to go here just yet. Wait, maybe there's something on that like like tip there. It's where I'd hide a secret. Those are tiny edges. I think you might want to use your Sonico Sla or Sonico Busta. Sonico Busta. Miss. 48 damage. Lasers. Terrible puns. It hurts. No, doesn't look like it. Mm, Icy hot. Jesus. Kill him. Goblin. I am Japanese goblin. No, I think it's funnier that way. You never know, man. Bulbasaur cops out with a gun. What are you doing? Stole it. To get back at Team Rocket. I think those are rabbits, actually. Everything's a cat, don't you know? No, I think they did. It's just maybe they didn't have enough money to get a whole bunch of different sound effects for monsters. Because it sounds like they spent it all the budget on the money, or all the money on the soundtrack. Oh, 0 damage. Confusion and paralysis, I think. Hit him with the Bernie. Hit him with the Bernie Sandy. Hit him with the Bernie Sanders. because Celia's going to have to save the party here. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about healing just yet. You still got plenty of health. Yeah, we are nowhere close to halfway into the game, I don't think. I argue you shouldn't be able to. I argue that you shouldn't be able to. Yeah, where do you sit on that argument? Some people have been arguing that video games need to continuously add, difficulty settings. You to make the game easier for people with usually the argument is for people with disabilities so they can play it easier. I personally think that we shouldn't because that undermines the actual people with disabilities who are actually currently playing and beating the games. I also think that it undermines the actual that it can actually easily undermine the difficulty that the designer intends for. Mm. They what? What? No, they did Eowyn, Theoden, Aragorn. Let's see here. No, but it's one of those things that if they're described a certain way, but then they were changed, it makes no sense. At least in my opinion. Like if it was the opposite, well, it's more like the idea of if it was done the other way, there would have been outrage. Period. Right? I just think that they should be like sticking to the material, not like changing it just to change it, Because basically uh all of Rohan and a bunch of like the main and several of the main characters did just randomly get changed their skin color changed for no reason. And it feels like it was done just to appeal to people rather than anything else. I mean, that is a fair argument, but I mean, some of the cards do actually represent them. Like, represent the movie version of the characters a lot more than Tree Fitty. But my main problem with it is like it's the way that Lord of the Rings was written was in the way of like a fictional history book. So it feels weird to then suddenly start changing it, you know? Mm, I will say the cards are absolutely beautiful for the Lord of the Rings set, though. Let me see. Gandalf. Yeah, Friend of the Shire, where he's like, where it's got like all of the yeah, yeah, it's absolute like all of the cards are absolutely beautiful. I will not argue that. Like, even despite my misgivings, all the cards are absolutely beautiful. And I do like that there's is it a what did you do with it? Okay, 5. That's yeah. No, no. So, is it said the practical power level of the deck was 5, or is it like the bracket rating of 5? Okay. It's literally right below it. Okay, so your deck's on equivalent with like an with an upgraded like pre-con. Yeah. Sponsor us, please. Mhm. So what's your commander for the first one? Mm. Okay, so that means you're getting close to like your baseline power is getting up there towards competitive like commander. But the realistic power due to you not having many win conditions or really ways to capitalize on what you do puts you down more towards 3, which is kind of like it just fucking exploded. But yeah, no, it's with that you could probably run it in most bracket 3 things, but depending on the cards in there and if you have like things that maybe give you extra turns or anything, you could easily okay. You might send me the link to the deck since we got nothing else to talk about. You might want to heal Cecilia and Jack. Let's see, Moxfield. Yeah, so you got a okay, yeah, so you got a bunch of game changers in here. They're cards that are very useful in building or to either subvert your opponents or buff yourself up massively. Things like Cyclonic Rift, which if you just overload it, you get rid of You return everyone's fields to their hands besides yours. What I might recommend instead of that is Farewell, but you no, you don't have white. Never mind. Yeah, Fierce Guardianship is a considered a game changer due to the fact that uh you can counter literally anything with it for free. Let's see. What other game changers does it say you have in here? Crop rotation. Nice. Crop rotation. At the time you play crop rotation, sacrifice a land, search for a land card. You okay. Yeah, I can see that. I see you chose that version of Counterspell. Let's see. World Tutor, Vornclex. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be tilted anyway. It's fucking Counterspell. Let me play the game, dickhead. Nice. Yeah, no, now I see. Yeah, no, I'm not playing against this deck. It has the most annoying Vorinclex. The most annoying Vorinclex. It's one of your creature cards. It's Vorinclex, Voice of the Hungry. What it does is, whenever you tap for land for mana, you produce one mana of any other type that land produced. But if your opponent taps for land, that land doesn't untap in their next untap. Yeah, so not playing against this deck. You literally have a tutor in this deck to pull that card. Worldly Tutor. Yeah, fucking dickhead. Yeah, no. If the intent is to do that, then definitely bracket four. I don't have any bracket four decks, so you'll have to make a bracket three. For the Final Fantasy ones, though, what I might actually recommend is starting with the precon because the precons are already about strength three, and then just building off of them because the precons are already really good. Hmm. But yeah, but I'll try my three power deck against you, see how it works. Um, it could definitely be better. Like if you're aiming for better, better, but I would probably not want to go too much higher because then you get into like super toxic. Like this deck is supposed to win in two turns with the enemy interacting with you. Yeah, no, because it's basically considered a dick move. Yeah, no, you pull out like a power level 4 or 5 deck to a bracket three game. The rest of the table does have permission to just kill you or beat the shit out of you, whichever happens first. Mhm. Mhm. Ironically, he's slightly more worrying because your commander is going to still take a little bit to get out, even with being able to play extra lands and stuff. Mhm. Like you have a very slow deck, which is, I think, the counter here is that you've overall it's incredibly slow, and why do you want no? Oh, well, it's I guess you want that from that. Yeah. Oh, I think Jack's dying, or or well, Rudy is. That's not too bad overall. Later.